Hello and welcome to this video from Sorare Assist. Want to know which players are going to get you those all important points at a budget price? Then make sure you stick around, because I've been scouting every region and I'll be sharing my findings in this video today. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. If you're looking for the Sorare tutorials, scouting and other Sorare content, then you're in the right place. If you found this video useful, then please push that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel by pushing that big red button below and ping that notification bell to be the first to be alerted about any new content. If you haven't signed up to Sorare yet, then what are you waiting for? Get signed up using the link below to get a free rare card and 10 common cards. If you have any questions or thoughts about today's videos, then please drop them in the comments below. Right now that's out of the way, let's get stuck into today's content. So in this video series, I'll be highlighting budget options in every region over a number of weeks. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be highlighting players in regions and also in leagues as well in each videos, depending on how many budget options I've come up with in each category. All these players are around or below £100 at the time of recording. Some are as low as £30 and at most £150 for maybe strikers or more elite players. These players are all good enough to hit the ETH thresholds in most weeks, even if you're using a common keeper. These selections also tie in with my video on building a Sorare team from zero to hero, where the principle was to use 4 rare cards and a common keeper to get those ETH thresholds most weeks. A link is in the description below if you do want to watch that. So due to this, I won't be highlighting goalkeepers on this video series, because if there's a slight chance of goalkeeper will play, their price is going to be high. There's no such thing as a budget keeper really in today's market for a quality starting goalkeeper. But with the players highlighted, you should be able to use a decent common keeper and still at those ETH thresholds, and then potentially save up with the prize that you win for your first rare keeper. If you already have a rare keeper, that's even better. So the idea is that these players will be able to get you around 50 points on average amongst your 4 outfield players. This will get you 200 points, plus add on top of that the percentage bonuses of your cards and your common keeper score, of course, and there's a high chance you could also reach the higher threshold payout. Now I bet you're thinking that it's hard for your players to score 50 every week. Well, they don't have to. If one player scores 70, then one of your other players can be excused for scoring 30 points, as that's still an average of 50 points between 2 players. The players highlighted have all the right statistics and history of good scores to hit those thresholds. They're also expected to start most games or are already seeing regular game times for the club. And the good thing is, they're available at a budget price. I'm highlighting their scoring history and looking at their prices on the market at the time of recording. So today I'm going to be concentrating on the America region, but I'm only concentrating on the MLS players in this 2-part mini-series of scouting budget videos. Okay, so this is part 1. Where I'll be covering the defenders and there'll be some midfielders thrown in there as well. And then part 2 will be the rest of the midfielders and also some forwards as well. These are all budget options as advised earlier. If you want to check out the other regions in the America region, so we've got the Brazilian, the Mexican and Argentinian, there is a previous budget video on that, so you can check that out in the videos section. Okay then, let's get stuck into the first selection then. So first up I've gone for Graham Zusi of Kansas City. 34-year-old, so that is something to bear in mind, but it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. If you look at his scores here, some brilliant scores. He's even got 100 here. Got some fantastic scores here. And he is playing for Kansas as well, which are an improving team. So he does look a very viable option who's going to get you some fantastic scores. Now price wise, let's have a look on Sorare just to see what the price is going for currently on the secondary market. Let's have a look. 51 here, that's absolutely brilliant. Obviously you can put a bid in as well. 53, 53. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Someone's picked him up 1 day ago, potentially on the auction for £49. So yeah, I think this guy is 44 here, look, £44. That looks a bargain to me. Obviously there's something to bear in mind that he is 34, he's soon to be 35 as well, on the 18th of August. So that is something to bear in mind. Okay, this video was recorded on the 3rd of August, so there's not long until he does actually turn 35. So it might be worth checking out, see if he's going to get another contract with Kansas, if he's going to stay at Kansas or move to a different club. But if we look at just go back to his scores for a moment, there is some did not plays here. So I just want to explain that. So that is due to an injury that he picked up here. But if you look at his actual 90-minute stats, he's actually playing 90 minutes every game. Pretty much every game is playing 90 minutes, as you can see here. So although he's 34, nearly 35, he is still playing a regular 90 minutes. If you look at his stats, he is bombing down the wing, getting loads of crosses in. He's still very active in terms of his fitness. So even though he's 34, don't let that deceive you. I think he has got a few more years left in him yet, especially in the MLS where it's probably a bit of an easier calibre of football. So definitely one worth checking out. If you can pick him up, there was one for 44 on the market. So maybe if you can put a bid in, you might be looking, you might be able to get this guy for £30. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Okay then, so moving on to the next option, and that is Boris Sekulic of Chicago. 29-year-old. Scores wise, he's got some good scores, look, as you can see, some brilliant numbers here. Looks very impressive. Obviously Chicago are not doing that well in terms of the league, so clean sheets are probably a bit scarce. But if he was getting clean sheets, if he got to move to a different club or something like that, or Chicago improved the back line, then these scores are going to look better. But considering he's playing for a team lower down in the league, I think these scores look absolutely brilliant. So let's have a look at some of these secondary offers on the market then. On the secondary market, just to see what he's going for. So there's one here for 86. You could probably put a bid in for that to get a bit of a lower price there. 88. So you could put a bid in, maybe £70. Maybe pick this guy up for. I think that's brilliant for a defender who's showing these type of numbers. So that looks fantastic. Another fantastic option. Next up, we've gone for Aaron Herrera of Salt Lake City. 24-year-old, so he's young. Scores wise, look absolutely brilliant. As you can see here, so he's got some fantastic scores there. Now looking at his price on Sorare, now he is obviously younger, so he's probably going to be a little bit more expensive than the first couple of options there. There's one here for 118, so you could probably pick him up, maybe get a £100 offer in there or something like that. And there's some little bit more expensive ones, but I think this range isn't too bad really for a young player. And as you can see, his last 5 is fantastic. Not that we should pay too much attention to that. But his actual overall scores are looking very impressive as well. And as I say, he's only 24, so you might have to pay a little bit more. But I still think it's in the budget category for a cheaper player, for a young player. Sorry. So next up then, I've gone for Zan Komanik of Austin FC. 21-year-old. Again, he is playing for a team that's not doing that fantastic in the league. And that's maybe affecting his scores a little bit. But looking at his numbers, he has recently got into the team, so he's recently starting to get some minutes. And if you look at these scores here, I don't think they're too bad really for a young defender. Bearing in mind he's only 21. So he is showing some impressive numbers here. So he could be one to keep as a youngster who, in my eyes, could only really get better. Obviously, like I say, he's playing for Austin, so again, the clean sheets are probably a bit scarce. So he's probably not getting many clean sheet points here. But if he was, these scores would be a lot better. But I think considering the amount of games he's had so far on the Sorare scoring matrix, I don't think these scores are too bad really for a 21-year-old. So let's have a look at his price then on the secondary market. So as you know, youngsters are usually a lot of money, but this guy is going for around £62, 63 there. So you could maybe get this guy for 40, 50 quid if on a bid potentially, on an offer. So I think for a young player who's showing the right stats, like I say, all these players are showing the right stats to succeed on the scoring matrix. What's letting him down is probably that he's playing for Austin FC. He's obviously not going to be getting a lot of the clean sheet points there. But I think he's definitely one to consider if he's only 21, and I think he's going to potentially stay at Austin, or he could even get a move to another club, and that's going to obviously improve his scores that are also already quite impressive for someone so young. So next up then, I've gone for Metaneer of Minnesota, 31-year-old, another defender here. Scores wise, as you can see, absolutely brilliant. Look at these scores, absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really good scores. Surely you'll agree there. And let's have a look at his price on Sorare. So price wise, one for 74 here, which is pretty impressive. £53 here. That's absolutely brilliant. You could put an offer in there. Powell trader. Well, he might not accept the offer. There's one for 62. So yeah, I think 56 here. That's looking absolutely brilliant. 54. I think that looks absolutely fantastic prices there. And obviously you can put a bid in as well for that player, an offer to the manager who's selling him. These scores look very, very impressive for someone who you could get for potentially under £50. I think that looks absolutely brilliant. So the next selection I've gone for is Moon Juan of Los Angeles, 25-year-old defender, obviously playing for a good team. Scores wise, they look very good. He's actually got 100 here as well. So his scores look really, really impressive. He's only 25 as well, so fairly young. Let's have a look at his price then on the secondary market at the moment. £65 here. 88. Someone bought him one day ago, £64. I think for a player playing at a top club, I think that's a pretty decent price, to be honest. Looks like a bargain. As you can see, he has transferred from a Korean side there to the MLS recently. That's why his old card from last season is a Korean card. But yeah, it does look a fantastic option there. He's probably still settling into the US as well, don't forget. He has moved from Korea. So I expect that his performances will potentially even improve. And they already do look impressive here. And he should be getting some clean sheets as well with Los Angeles. So it looks a fantastic option at that price. So the next player I've gone for is Jimmy Medranda of Seattle, 27-year-old, another defender. As you can see, he's only got a few scores registered on Sorare, but these scores do look very, very good. He's got 78 there as well, which is fantastic. 72. As you can see, he's got a lot of did not players here, but if we look at this, that's because he was injured for a number of couple of months there. Look, then he's obviously getting back to fitness here. He's on the bench, got injured again on the bench, but then he's getting back into the side now. Looking, he's playing some regular minutes there. Although he's not playing a full 90 yet, I think he's probably still getting his fitness back because he has his injury concerns, as you can see. But he's only 27, and as I say, these scores look good for someone who's playing bit parts at the moment. But I expect him to get once he's got his fitness back, I expect him to get a potential run in the side. So in terms of the price, if we have a look at his price on the secondary market, there's one here for £42, £50, £47 here. I think that looks pretty impressive, really. You can maybe pick him up on a cheeky offer for around £30. So I think he looks a very good option, okay? But the injury concerns is something to bear in mind. But if you can get him for £30 and then he starts to get more minutes, he's only 27 like I say, then he could be a very viable option. So the next player I've gone for, this time it's the first midfielder, and that is Thomas Pochettino. 25-year-old who plays for Austin. Points wise, look absolutely brilliant. As you can see here, he's had a really good run of form here. But these stats as well also look impressive. We have to take into consideration that he is also playing for Austin, so that's probably affecting his scores slightly because obviously they're not the best team in the league. But to get these sort of numbers shows the quality that this guy has got for the Sorare scoring matrix. Now in terms of price on the secondary market then, now don't forget, I'm keep showing you the secondary market prices, they're usually inflated, so you could probably pick him up in more instances than not at a cheaper price on the secondary market, on the primary market, sorry. So £86 here, I think that looks brilliant. Someone picked up recently 93. 75 here 2 days ago, that'll be on the primary, and that one would be as well, that one as well. So maybe £70 you could pick this guy up for, something like that. For a midfielder who's only 25, I believe, yeah, 25, I think that looks a very good bargain, especially if Austin can improve the form a little bit, although it doesn't really need that to happen because he's still scoring some fantastic scores here. So it looks a very, very good option. So the final option for this week is Pablo Rozas, 22-year-old of Salt Lake City. Now this guy is only 22, and I was a little surprised to see him on being this price really. Looking at his scores, as you can see, he's got some fantastic scores there. For someone who's only 22, I think he looks a very, very good prospect. Now in terms of price on Sorare, bearing in mind that he is a very young player, let's have a look at the price on the secondary market. So there's one for 181 here, 83. For a 22-year-old, I think that looks absolutely brilliant. And he's not actually 23 until December as well. So this guy looks a very, very good bargain at this price, I would say, for a young Argentinian as well, I might add, midfielder. He is showing all the right stats, like I say. All these players are showing the right stats to get some decent scores. So I think this guy looks very cheap at this sort of price bracket. If you put an offer in for one of these, you can maybe even pick him up for between £60 and £80. I think that would be an absolute bargain for a young player in the MLS. Okay, that was all the selections for part 1 of this video. Part 2 is going to cover the rest of the midfielders and also some budget forward options as well for the American MLS. This is probably a good time to pick up some of these players as well, because the prices are probably going to get a little bit cheaper as the season draws to a close. But don't let that deter you. Get your players ready for the next season in the MLS, and also for the rest of this season you can use them as well. Get their XP up. Come next year, you're going to have a decent, cheap squad there for the MLS. Okay then, if you have any thoughts on today's video, then drop them in the comments below. Let me know if you purchased any of these players or any of the players from the previous videos. Let me know who in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ping that notification bell to be the first to be informed about any new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter at Sorare Assist, and also now on Instagram, and we have a Facebook page as well. Also check out our free website, sorareassist.com, where there's free Sorare resources on there. There's obviously some videos from the YouTube channel as well, and a couple of blog posts as well on there. Links are in the description below. There's also a link in the description below to sign up to Sorare if you've not done so, to get your all-important free cards. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll hopefully see you again soon. Bye for now.